Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Hurin or Atika binti Hamdan. So for today's video, I am going to present my movie analysis for subject Principles of Children Behavior Management in Early Childhood Education. In this presentation, I am going to first introduce the movie that I had chosen for this movie analysis, state the significant reason why I chose this movie, summarize the plot of this movie, and discuss related theory on the behavior of young children and how it was managed in the analysis. The movie that I had chosen for this movie analysis is Matilda. Matilda was a film adaptation of a children's novel by a well-known British author named Roald Dahl. The movie was adapted into a film in 1996 in the United States by Danny DeVito, one of the actors from this movie. Although the film's genre is family and children, there are some scenes that require parental guidance due to the use of harsh language and depictions of disturbing acts such as meanness and ridicule. There is also some element of fantasy and comedy inserted in this film. The film setting is primarily comprised of the main character's home, as well as a school and classroom environment. The characters featured in this movie are the Wormwood family, which consists of Matilda, her parent Harry and Zinnia Wormwood, and her brother Michael, a school principal named Miss Agatha Trunchbull, her classroom teacher named Miss Honey, and Matilda's friends Lavender and Hortensia. The protagonist of this film is the main character itself, Matilda Wormwood. She is an intelligent, lovable and brilliant child who has displayed signs of being a prodigy since she was a baby. Matilda lives an unfortunate life with a family who almost have forgotten about her existence. Later on in this movie, she developed a power that helps her to deal with certain events in her life. The antagonist of this film is Matilda's parent and her school principal, Miss Trunchbull. Matilda's parent, who is an arrogant and cunning father and a self-centered mother, pretty much uninvolved in Matilda's life and being ignorant towards her needs, while Miss Agatha Trunchbull is known for her cruel and abusive treatment towards children. There are 4 significant reasons on why I chose this movie to be analyzed. First, this movie demonstrates various aspects of behavior throughout this film. Matilda is an ideal film to study because it examines young children's behavior. The film Matilda depicts a variety of child behavior throughout the film, as the film's concept revolves around children's lives at home and school. This film shows how adult characters deal with certain types of behavior, which adds to the understanding of this film analysis focus. For example, Miss Trunchbull prefers to abuse children because she despises them and believes that beating and punishing them will best shape children, whereas Miss Honey treats children with more love, care, and kindness. The children in this film also display a variety of traits. Matilda, for example, is kind to those who are nice to her, but shows a childish side when dealing with adults who need to be taught a lesson. Thus, this film was chosen to study young children's behavior through film analysis. Next is the positivity promotes in this film. While the film Matilda is best known for depicting a young girl's unfortunate life, it also promotes positive messages. This film emphasizes the importance of reading to children. On her first day of school, Matilda answers a multiplication question with large numbers, surprising everyone, especially her teacher. When asked where she learned to multiply large numbers, she said she learned it from a book. Matilda also would imagine herself living the life of the characters in the book, exploring the world, making friends, and enjoying her life just as the characters in the book did. It shows that reading helps children's cognitive development by expanding their creativity through imagination, unintentionally guiding them toward a better future. Next, the film's original author, Roald Dahl, defied child stereotypes through Matilda's unique and interesting perspective. A child's behavior has always been expected to mirror that of their parents. However, Matilda's parents cannot be considered a positive influence on her or other children. According to Matilda's father, a true Wormwood family would rather watch television than waste time reading books. Moreover, Matilda not only stands out from her family, but she also opposes adult by punishing them for their wrongdoing, because when a person is bad, that person should be taught a bad lesson. As seen here, children have their own perspectives and views on the world, and adults or parents should not force children to follow everything they believe is right and beneficial for their child. Allowing children to express themselves will help them to feel more accepted, which will encourage them to become a better person. Fourth is the value of family towards children highlighted in this film. Adult care is critical in ensuring children have the best childhood possible, and they should never be ignored or despised simply for their existence. Matilda's childhood was spent being ignored by both parents, left to fend for herself without parental supervision, told she was worthless, and constantly dismissed by her family when she tried to show them affection. Her family not only ignored her, but frequently bullied and belittled her. Matilda longs for familial warmth, which she has never known until she meets Miss Honey. Matilda makes the right choice by abandoning her parents and choosing to be with someone who values her more. Adults must therefore provide meticulous care and attention to children, because their childhood experiences indirectly shape their personalities and prepare them for adulthood. Moving on to the summary of this film, Matilda Wormwood is a lovely and intelligent young girl with a sign of being a prodigy. Unfortunately, Matilda is neglected and misunderstood by her family because she lives in a world with values and beliefs that are totally opposite to theirs. Matilda eventually enrolls in a school with a kind teacher, devoted classmates, and a sadistic principal. Matilda later on discovers she possesses telekinetic abilities as she grows increasingly frustrated with Miss Agatha Trunchbull's constant cruelty. After a few days of practice, Matilda is able to use her telekinetic ability to outsmart her parents and the school's principal. Let's take a look at the plot of this movie in more detail. The exposition of this movie starts on Matilda's first day of school, where Miss Honey recognizes Matilda's prodigies, such as her ability to solve multiplication problems using large numbers without being taught beforehand. Miss Honey attempted to raise awareness of Matilda's abilities by suggesting that she should be transferred to a higher grade classroom. But Miss Trunchbull accuses her of refusing to deal with Matilda's rebellious behavior, and even Matilda's parents are averse to taking the story of their child's intelligence seriously. The rising action part started when Matilda discovered her telekinetic ability when her friend Lavender put a nude in Miss Trunchbull's water jug. In response to Miss Trunchbull accusing Matilda of playing pranks on her, Matilda uses her power to splash the glass water with a nude on her using her power. But when she tried to show her power after confessing to Miss Honey, she didn't succeed. Later on, Miss Honey revealed a secret about her family, where she suspected her aunt Miss Trunchbull of murdering his father, who had been ruled to have committed suicide. To appease Miss Honey, Matilda suggests they sneak into Miss Trunchbull's house and retrieve her belongings, which they narrowly escape after the owner returns unexpectedly. The climax of this movie starts when Matilda uses her telekinetic powers to return to Miss Trunchbull's house and avenge Miss Honey's sadness by frightening Miss Trunchbull. Matilda is adamant about reprimanding Miss Trunchbull for her treatment of Miss Honey and her friends. Unfortunately, Miss Trunchbull knew who the intruder was when she saw Matilda's red hair ribbon outside her window. The next day, Miss Trunchbull takes over Miss Honey's class to find the intruder who broke into her house. However, Miss Trunchbull was scared to death when Matilda pretended to be Miss Honey's father, Mr. Magnus, and caused chaos in the classroom, forcing Miss Trunchbull to abandon her niece and other children and permanently leave the school. As for the falling action and resolution part, it started after Miss Honey returns to her father's house, where Matilda becomes a regular visitor. Matilda was out with Miss Honey one day when her family arrived in a car, claiming they had to leave town because the FBI was investigating his father's illegal business. Matilda, being a brilliant girl, foresaw this outcome and insisted on being adopted by Miss Honey instead of following her family. Matilda hands her parents the adoption papers she prepared ahead of time, and they readily agree to give up custody on her. With Miss Honey as the new principal of Cransham Hall Elementary School, Matilda no longer needs to use her power to protect herself or her loved one. The main character Matilda will be the focus of the film analysis. Matilda is a bright young girl who was raised in an impoverished environment until she discovered her own unique power, which she used to transform her life into the life she desired. The changes in her behavior throughout the film are closely related to her life experiences, which will be analyzed and compared to some of the theories learned. These theories will be based on her behavior throughout the film, the environment in which she was raised, and the manner in which her behavior is managed. The first point of focus will be Matilda's upbringing. Matilda was raised by irresponsible parents who barely acknowledge her existence. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood are neglectful parents who seem oblivious to their daughter's needs. Diana Baumrinn's research identified an involved or neglectful parenting in which parents make few to no demands on their children, are indifferent, dismissive, or even completely neglectful of them. Matilda's parents are shown to be reckless in numerous scenes throughout the film, including leaving her alone at home, verbally abusing her by belittling her, and failing to provide her with an adequate education when she is already supposed to be in school. Uninvolved parenting can harm children's development, causing them to struggle to learn appropriate behavior and form secure relationships. Matilda's strained relationship with her own family is understandable given her absent or neglectful parents. John Bowlby developed attachment theory, which focuses on human relationships, specifically parent-child relationships. A child's earliest bonds with their parents, according to John Bowlby, shape the child's life. The primary determinants of attachment are emotional, physical, and responsive care for children. Matilda's lack of attachment to her parents may be a result of the treatment she received from them, in which she was frequently dismissed when she attempted to communicate with them or when she attempted to be affectionate with them, which ultimately led in her willingness to be adopted by her teacher rather than follow her parents. She may be willing to be adopted by Miss Honey because she values her attention, care, and support. Thus, a caregiver's failure to establish a strong bond in relationship with their children affects their future behavior and decision-making. The third theory discussed in this film analysis is Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory. The multiple layers of the environment in which children live influence their development, starting with the smallest circle, which includes direct contact with children, and ending with the outer layer, which includes transitions and shifts in the child's life. The mesosystem is one of Bronfenbrenner's ecological levels, composed of relationships between groups or individuals in the first system, the microsystem. The parent-teacher relationship is a mesosystem relationship that directly affects children. Miss Trunchbull and Mr. Wormwood depicts a school principal and a parent, as well as a customer and a car seller. When her father sold her a defective car, Miss Trunchbull punished Matilda by locking her in the chokey. Matilda's father's dishonesty forced her to accept Miss Trunchbull's punishment, even though she did not do wrong. From this scene, it can be concluded that positive relationships between parents and teachers are essential for children's development and to prevent bias and mistreatment toward children. Lastly, Dr. Rudolf Draker's 4 mistaken goals of misbehavior are compared to Matilda's behavior. The sweet young girl Matilda soon showed her mischievous side by playing pranks on adults she thought should be punished for a lesson. According to Dr. Drakers, children misbehave because they crave belongings, significance, and adult attention. For example, children who are harmed by adults believe they can avenge themselves by harming others. In fact, children sought validation from adults, especially their parents. In this film, Matilda is so upset that her parents won't send her to school that she decides to prank them by bleaching their hair tonic. When Matilda tried to advise her father to stop his illegal business and become more honest in his business, her father verbally abused and belittled her. So, Matilda decided to punish him by supergluing his heart. To avoid unintentionally reinforcing unproductive behavior, parents should try to understand the reason behind their misbehavior and use encouragement to help them achieve their true goal of belonging and significance. In conclusion, numerous factors contribute to the shaping of children's behavior, including how the child is raised, the environment in which they live, and how the parent or adult manage the child's behavior. Adults play a critical role in educating and shaping children's behavior because early education not only prevents children from misbehaving but also ensures a child's future personality. Some of the strategies that caregivers or parents can use to avoid any of the behavior issues depicted in the film is to provide proper care and attention to children and to use the appropriate form of reinforcement and punishment when addressing behavior issues. Providing adequate care and attention to children makes them feel safe and valued by their parents. They can indirectly instill good and positive behavior in children and foster a healthy self-esteem in them. Positive parenting not only helps children feel happy, secure, and safe, but it also helps shape their personality and behavior, as children raised in a supportive and nurturing environment are more likely to understand why rules must be followed. Using appropriate reinforcement or punishment will help prevent children from rebelling or becoming aggressive. This way, children will understand why their actions have consequences. While teaching children about their actions is important to prevent repeating them, recognizing their efforts to behave well is even more vital. Children who are recognized for their positive behavior are more likely to develop a positive personality, which will motivate them to become a better person in the future. That is all for my presentation. Thanks for watching and see you again.